Hello, my name is Alexa Frigette, and I chose for my UDL concept to do develop self-assessment and reflection under the provide multiple means of engagement and self-reflection, or self-regulation, excuse me. So for some of the ones that they had for resources, they had ways to do a blog or a diary or those kinds of things. And while those are really great, I think that some of them get kind of pricey. Like some of the learner diaries that I looked up, one was Penzu, was a journal, and it costs $49 per year, which as a teacher, if you can cut those kinds of costs, then you should do that. So I just Googled some self-assessment things, and what came up from the NWEA website was just a list of all these different kinds of formative assessment tools that you could use, apps. And some of them, you had to go through, some of them are outdated, but I chose Go Soapbox. For my card that I got for my final project is a classroom that's 15 students or less who have a one device policy, or a bring your own device policy, and also students that are have English language learners. So for the Go Soapbox, it's free for if you have less than 30 students. So, and it works well with the bring your own device because there's no clickers and there's just some really cool features. So if I go to the Go Soapbox website and go to their tour, it shows that you can do a confusion barometer for your class, and it'll show their level of understanding for your particular lesson, so they can check in at either the beginning or the end of class. It could be their entry and exit ticket kind of idea, and so it gives you some feedback. You can have them ask their own questions about what's going on in the lessons. You can kind of see what they understand. You can do polls, you can do quizzes, you can do all kinds of things, and students remain anonymous, so then you don't see what other students are answering. So it's pretty low risk for students to participate. You would know which students, what their username is, though, when you log into your classroom. Like, it'll show what their like code name is or what their guest name is. And then you can kind of see the percentage of what students answer, so you get some feedback for yourself without doing a self-assessment strategy per se in the classroom. So some of the things that they say about Go Soapbox, some people work, it's pricey when you have it in sometimes a upper level because you have more students, you have to pay for it. But they said students seem to really respond to the tool because it's fun, it's interactive, it gets them to do something new every day. It's not just looking at the board and answering questions and raising your hand. So if you, as I said before, it's a free tool if you have less than 30 students. And that's going to be most of your K through 5 classrooms, which is what I'll be in. Most classrooms are under 30 students. However, depending on how much you use this tool, I think it's only $19 a month to upgrade it for more students. So I don't necessarily know. You could probably do some sort of grant or some other things to get some students in, or you could get somebody to try to help you pay for that. It wouldn't be something that would be too terribly costly, but it would add up if you had to do that, depending on the school that you're in. So how this helps students, it helps student learners meet their goal because they're able to give anonymous feedback to you as their teacher without having, like I said, no risk of other students finding out how they're doing. And especially for students who are language learners, you'll be able to ask them without other students knowing that they're struggling. You'd be able to see how everyone's doing on a particular concept. Everybody in the class, not just your English language learners. And like I said, it accounts for the variability of all learners because you're able to check in on their confusion level in the particular area that you're working on. I think that students could critically reflect on what they and how they are learning, because they are able to respond with a short answer as well, not just a yes or no. You can ask them more difficult questions. And they'll be reflecting on what they've learned, because you're going to ask them their confusion, and I think depending on how you set up the tool, you can use it in that manner. I just think you'd have to set those expectations for your class ahead of time. Well, thank you for listening to my my little spiel about Go Soapbox for the classroom for the UDL concept of self-assessment, and hope you enjoyed it.